recording. I do apologise for the tardiness. Okay. Just jumble. What's jumble mean? Remember jumble. Can't hear you yet. Can't hear me? Oh, I'm sorry, it's recording. If you can't hear me, let me know if there's really bad. For fuck's sake. 2 seconds. Oh. So it works fine when I swear, doesn't it? You can hear that easily. Right. Sorry. I was brought up in a shearing shed, literally. So, can you hear that better? Yes? Good. Alright. So, here we go. We have this Euro Yen, higher highs, higher lows here. Above the EMA support, horizontal support. Yeah, this is a really strong one, isn't it? RSI convergence, yes. Resistance ahead. Well, it's previous high, but if you go under this swing low, you'll still get the risk reward 1 to 4. Yeah, that's great. Trendline support, yes. Good. Still room to move. Missed the classic entry on the 4th of Feb. Yeah. Still room to move with this late entry. Reduced risk though. Okay. The cable was smashed on Friday. Well, not smashed, but had a pretty volatile session. The cable had this looking bar here. There had three sets of bad data in the week, so that's the reason for that. Okay. So next email is unfortunately bedded into the email, so I can't show you. But you're looking at the dollar yen. Alrighty, dollar yen. A little swing low there. Got a bit of a resistance line here across 103. As you can see, I've got a trade on the 4 hour, but the 4 hour went in above this here. It's going nowhere. What was I looking at? Yes. Get through sort of 103 area. This would be looking like a pretty good trade. But because of your you've embedded it, I can't give you feedback. I'll email you that case. And you stopped making reference to Bitcoin. Yeah, that's mainly because we can't trade it, and I couldn't be bothered checking it. Aussie Swiss. This would be similar to the Euro Aussie. Well, look, if we look at the euro, oh, sorry, someone's just asked about the yen. There is support here. You've got this fib, this longer term fib here. You've got this high where, as the support line, which is also this high here. and this low, that's the support line. This fib, there's a bit of resistance there, but it looks like we're heading back up to that. I fundamentally believe that the yen is going to weaken or continue to weaken. We've got a lot of room to go on the momentum. It's convergence, and there's still enough room there to get a reasonable risk reward of this. Will it get all the way up to here? I'm not sure. Time will tell that, but might move the target just underneath those highs. Yeah, so a breakthrough here, you stop underneath there, or even under there, you're still getting a decent risk reward out of this, aren't you? So you say 102.90 is your entry. You're looking at a 160 pip stop, and 230. So that's, or you could even go to this high, 250. You're still, it's about 1.5. Yep. Okay. Aussie Swiss was. I've opened it, haven't I? Yep. Aussie Swiss, similar to the Euro Aussie. Is this too late to enter? Well, you are at 38 now. But what you should look at, excuse me, is again this was 730 pips. Yep. This one is 480 pips. So let's call it an average of 550, 600 pips. You're 250 into this, so you're about halfway into it, and so there's about 250, 300 pips to go into this. And there's 200 pips to that previous low. So it depends on where you're putting your risk on the daily. That you're looking, yes, 7 out of 9. On the daily time frame, where are you going to put your stop loss? If you're looking at, say, 250 pips, but your stop might be there. It could be here, but that's not very strong to place your stop, is it? So your stop is either going to be up here, it's 280 pips, or there, which is about 200 pips, and this is not the strongest spot. You go in here and you probably get taken out, or could, I'm not saying probably, but there's a potential that you get taken out. You go 150, so it depends on where you're putting your stop. If you go down to the 4 hour, well then now that looks a bit better. But you're probably not taking, then be put your target on the 4 hour. Target on the 4 hour, because you're trading the phase 1. Target on the 4 hour would be about here, yeah, and you're already quite a way into it. So you're looking at 110 pip stop for 50 pip target, maybe 80 pip target, and that doesn't sound very attractive at all, does it? So I'd say this one is a little bit late to trade based on that sort of analysis. Does that make sense? Best entry would have been, so for this, the question was the best entry would have been probably underneath this bar here. It could go underneath that bar, but I would have gone in underneath this bar as the best entry in there, and you're either having to stop here or there. So 200 pip to 100 or 150 pip having come in underneath this bar here. And that bar was the 19th. Correct price action for analysis over 17, 18, 19th of Feb. Yeah. If a trade is placed today, and this came in this morning, should the stop loss be above the high of the 12th? Or can it be above the 19th? As I suggested, you're probably looking at above this bar here. As your initial stop loss. And I think this is probably a little too late to trade now. Average true range. Could you please cover how average true range can be helpful in our trading? ATR is, what I will tell you is, this just tells you what the number of pips are on average in the dailies, between the difference between the high and the low on average. So this is a period of 14, so over the last 14 bars right now, this is giving you an average of 78 pips. Back here it was giving you an average of 124 pips. Yeah. So you might look at that and say, well, it's not going to do, and we can probably, average this out and say, well, on average, let's look at this being as an average of 90 pips in a day, this currency pair does. So if it's 90 pips, how often do you get bars that the high is the low of the previous day, something bars like this? Yeah. So it's rare to see bars like that. You do get them, but it's rare to see them, and certainly rare to see them against the trend. So if you're going with the trend, you could say, well, my stop is going to be 90 pips. I'll be 90 pips above this bar here, because it's not going to do more than 90 pips in a day, unless there's something really, some rather large news out, and if you're looking at your calendar that there's no large news coming out today. So you could effectively say, well, I'll do, if it's never going to get to my stop if I'm 90 pips above this bar. I certainly won't do it in a day, or you could do, use it as a percentage. I'll say, well, 25% of the bar, it's rare to see 50% of the bar poke itself out beyond the low of the previous bar. So you might consider that as a form of stop loss management tool. Okay, Q&A. Euro yen. That's your weekly. Yeah, it's looking good. I think you identified this last week, didn't you? I'm looking to trade this. Not sure what this. Oh, that's the 0.618. Yeah. Okay. My fib color. It's not light green. It's yellow. Okay. Are they easier to see? Okay. What's that showing? This was hidden divergence when I directed the trend line, but now more off the 50 EMA. Getting higher highs, and you're getting higher highs. That's convergence, isn't it? Hidden divergence. There's hidden divergence from this low to this low. Not sure what you're highlighting here. I don't know if it's going to get there. It's probably more likely out here that it's going to get up there. You don't see an aggressive move like that followed by another aggressive move like it, unless there's fundamental news behind it. So I think it'd be more like out here. Follow your trend line. It'd probably be out here that it gets there. But the weekly it's certainly looking good. This one, RSI is sitting at 66. So is it likely to get a higher high than that? No, but it could get to a similar high. It might sort of just trade sideways for a while too before it actually does that. Do a little fat assing around like this before it gets back up and makes a higher high. So it wears that off. But also, yen crosses can easily go beyond the overbought territory and still be trading for several hundred pips after that. Just lost the connection again, Buzz. All right. Okay, so Swiss yen, certainly still going, isn't it, Swiss yen? Turned around a little bit, but horizontal support, soft, fib, hidden divergences, RSI starting to approach overbought level at 71. Yes, okay, well, you can see here when it got to overbought, price was here, and look how much further it went. Granted, it may not do such an aggressive move, another aggressive move like this so soon after its previous one. But also remember, this was the emerging market little shake-up that we had, and now that's turning around again. So people started putting their money into yen because they're worried about the effect on the emerging markets, but everybody's calmed down about that again now, and so the yen is weakening. And it was around here that Bank of Japan came out and said they're going to obviously continue to pump the cash. So you have an open trade on the pound with my stop above break even. Okay, on the pound yen. That's good. All of the pairs, pound, euro, and Swiss yen, have high correlation. Yes, for sure. I was considering taking the euro yen, which is the best setup, and is a way of scaling in on my trade. Okay, even though I have no risk at the moment, do you think it is sensible to take another yen trade? Yes, absolutely. Your first one's risk-free, so as long as it fits your rules, then there's no reason why not you can't trade another yen cross, even if it's a different yen cross. There's no reason why you can't. I wouldn't have thought. My stop on the Swiss yen is 114.77. Cool. Well, Swiss yen, my stop is still here at, underneath this bar. It was this bar that I've moved my stop underneath. And so this bar hasn't given me, it's a higher high and a higher low. It's a buyer bar, true. But not a reason for me to move my stop. I'd need this bar here to be a buy bar, and then I've got two buy bars, and I'd move my stop to break even. But at this point, this low test is probably the strongest place to have my stop at the moment. I'm not going to move it up to break even or in here at this point. Which coaches are appropriate for coaching on the pro rules? Partha and Kurt. Dollar yen analysis for webinar. Attach my dollar yen. Come on. Yeah. on, connect. Okay. Sorry, it just dropped out for a second there. So dollar yen checklist continuation, start of phase one, higher highs and higher lows. Yeah, if we're looking at, is this your phase one, this your phase two? I'm not sure what you're highlighting with these blue lines. Your Fibonacci's there, yep. Above both, no. EMA support, you'd have to say no to that. Horizontal support, yes. RSI convergence, yes. Which price action, yeah. Fib retracement, yes. Trendline support, correct. Cool. 0.5%, yeah, awesome. Now you said, I noticed your market report says buy says 103 is a confirmed phase one. What I'm seeing there in the dollar yen is literally, there seems to be a bit of a resistance there, and it's just above the 50 EMA. Yeah, so if we look at it, literally there's just a minor amount of resistance around here. Minor bit of resistance there, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And that's at 102.70 that I've just put it there. This high here is 102.60, it's 102.70. So if it get through to 103, then you'd be looking as being above the 50 and generally in an uptrend. Okay. I could not find a fib level for the pound yen trade for today and therefore did not add it to my order. Where did you draw the fibs on the pound yen? Well, pound yen, you could suggest this might be your little cycle, or if you're looking at the largest cycle, there's your market bounced off the 618. Yep. But you could also say argue that this low test bar here came off the 618 perfectly as well. Yeah. And you could be looking at an entry above this bar, and your stops underneath that. And this is a mini cycle above the 50 EMA. What you're not seeing though is buying intention in this bar. Obviously the seller's dominated. However, if price does get up to a higher high here, then the buyers will certainly be dominating the day. Okay. It's a couple of hours into the trading session and it looks like it's going nowhere fast at the moment, but I wouldn't let that phase you out of a trade at this stage. So your fib from the last, don't understand that question. Your fib from last reversal. My fib went from there on the pound yen. This is the first bar that closed above the 50. Pending order. Could you please scale in on today? So another, currently it's traded 0.25. Right. If you had got into the order here, and your risk is, or you're risk free on the Swiss yen, the question is, can you scale in on the Swiss yen as there was another ring low? Yeah, you could if your order was, as long as you're not having more than 1% exposed at any one time, because say, this stop loss is still out of the money for me. But if you'd got in over here, then your stop would obviously be at break even or better. You might have only gone in with 0.25%, and therefore you're taking another 0.25% is not having too much exposure, because you're only at 0.5% then if they both get stopped out. So just got to consider, if both my orders get stopped out, how much risk will I land? Am I going to lose more than 1%, which is $500? Am I going to lose more than $500 if they both get stopped out? If the answer to that question is no, then you can place a second trade. Coming to your euro-yen analysis, I'm not sure about this trend line. I'll trust and believe you that that's the case. Could well be the case. Yep, cool. That's that one there. So you've got that trend line, perfect. But that's for this setup, not for this setup, which I presume you're looking at this setup. Fibonacci's in the right place, that's good. You got a horizontal here, which is a reasonably strong one, that's good. So yeah, I think I've seen this one before. Look, everything's looking reasonable. Your risk reward on this is 1 to 2 almost, because your stop is, your target's 145, which is this previous high. And your stop loss is 139, which is under that ring low. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. The action below the 50, which one are you talking about, mate? What currency pair are you talking about? On the pound yen, the action below the 50 doesn't count? Yeah, it does count, but it's, this action is, a beautiful trend, and I was suggesting, at this point in time, you could get in on it on the 4 hour. You could, there's your little cycle underneath, but there's obviously clearly no selling. There's buyers are still there. So, this is, you're looking at the larger picture. You're getting, there's your phase. This is your phase one. Here's phase one, and then here's phase two, and then here's phase one up again. And judging by that phase one, this one was 1800 pips. Yeah, this one is 800 pips, so still potential to go on that. Where I drew the fib, no, I'm not worried about what this is, because this is the fib you should have. Yep. If you're looking for an entry here. If you're not, if you're looking for an entry here, then this is the fib you should have from there to there. Okay. Is there any other questions? Sorry for being late. I'll email out the list of things I'm looking at first thing in the morning for you guys. but otherwise, that's all the emails. Only had a few of them to go through. Any other questions? What's your thought process to take Swiss yen instead of euro yen, or both of them at 0.5%? I can't remember why I took the Swiss yen over the euro yen. I think it was, can't remember now. The euro yen. The euro yen should have been a better option because it certainly had this stronger support line. And why didn't I go for 0.5% each? I think I took the Swiss yen because it owes me money over the euro yen, because I bought the Swiss yen over here somewhere, yeah, off this ring low here, and it cost me. So I felt like it owed me money, so I was wanting to get that money back out of that currency pair. Yes, I think like that. Sorry. And why not more than 0.5%? Look, I've got dollar yen and euro and Swiss yen. I didn't think I needed euro yen as well. And the Swiss yen, euro yen are effectively the same trade, so it was just, I prefer to be doing a full amount on one trade than doing half a amount on two trades. That's just my personal feeling and personal way of approaching it, but there's no right or wrong in doing that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can certainly take 0.5% on the euro yen. Yeah, it certainly has that, as I said, the stronger support over here because the Swiss yen doesn't have that support. The support's way down here. Yeah. Okay, Aussie looking to be a short, or looking for shorting opportunities. As you can see, it failed to beat this high here, which is a previous significant high. It failed it by about 5 pips, I think, that being 85 and this being 80, I think. Yep. And whilst it's done a little cycle above the 50 MA, I'm not a buyer. It was not a... Oh, I'm getting feedback now. Not a buyer by any stretch of the imagination. Euro, middle of nowhere, doing nothing, looking for a cycle above this and waiting to take it long from down here. Cable, same, waiting for it to take it long from down around here in the mid 64s, maybe even around the 65 level. Kiwi, zero interest, not playing in that. Your flat EMAs, you're middle of 84 or 80, well, if you go to 82, 84 to 82 range, you're right in the middle of it, but even if you come down to 81, it's just don't trade that. What am I going to show you? I could show you. Just this is something that might be of interest as to why you probably stay away from the Kiwi. Someone told me, one of my students told me that they'd heard somewhere that only mugs trade the Kiwi. Well, it's the 10th most traded one, and we've got some extra pairs that we're going to throw on, such as the ones that that actually traded have added. But we can see that obviously the US dollar is the biggest one, but you've got the euro number one, yen, pound, Aussie. Swiss comes in quite a large distance behind the Aussie. Swiss and the CAD are pretty similar. And then you're all the way down here is 2% of the market. It's the Kiwi. And this was as of world's most traded currencies by value 2012 from Investopedia, and also by the Basel International Settlements. Okay. Just a food for thought. CAD, don't like seeing this test bar. You know, there is a bit of resistance across here at $1.12, and it got close to it, but we're far from being exhausted. So what I'd like to see is, you know, the same high here, 12.23, with the lower RSI, or you're seeing momentum out of here. It's this really quite aggressive move, and I'd rather not trade that. I was looking for this. Unfortunately, it came in one huge bar and didn't get the opportunity to get in. Swissy, you know, clearly in phase one and still in phase one. Yen, we've discussed that. Look to get long above this area, 103 somewhere. Dollar Sing, yeah, if you're in it, happy days, trading away. If you picked this low, and I know a lot of you did. And Dollar Rand, there's a reversal bar. If you've got this swing low, and a lot of you did, then you know, your stop should be underneath that. Other than that, guys, the rest I shall cover in. I might get some time this afternoon. I've got a few things on, but I'll either get it to you this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Right out. Otherwise, thank you for your time. As I said, I apologise for the 5-minute delay. I do have a, yeah, I do know when my webinars are on. You don't need to send me an email. I'll be there. Might just be a couple minutes late. All right, guys. Thank you. Do we have one tomorrow, actually? Do we have a webinar tomorrow? That's a good question. Having just said I know when they're on. I know because I've got the course on. Yeah, we do have a webinar tomorrow, and then I've got to be in Sydney for the course. So a webinar tomorrow, and then another one on Friday. Otherwise, have a lovely day. Hope you all had a good weekend, and enjoy the sunshine. Cheers.